Okay. Financially, do you think it's something that I can do?
Kelli's house hunting journey on The Real Housewives of Atlanta revealed a completely different side of her, shifting away from the usual arguments, drama, and attempts to impress others. Instead, this moment focused on real life decisions, personal transitions, and the reality of having to adjust your lifestyle based on changing circumstances. What stood out most in this storyline was how grounded and transparent Kelli appeared throughout the process. Rather than leaning into conflict or theatrics, she came across as someone genuinely navigating a life change and trying to make thoughtful decisions for her future. It also highlighted a more relatable aspect of her personality, someone dealing with responsibility, reassessing priorities, and trying to figure out what makes sense practically, not just emotionally. That honesty made the moment feel more authentic compared to the typical high drama situations the show is known for. Overall, it was a refreshing perspective because it showed growth, awareness, and a willingness to face real life challenges head on instead of getting caught up in unnecessary chaos.
Hey! Hey, how are you? Oh my God, is there a memo? Is there a white
all white affair
purity memo?
You know when you're gone, when you wear white.
Fabulous.
You do this too, baby. Good to see. I think you're gonna absolutely love this place.
Ooh.
Downtown Alpharetta, Milton School District. All right, girl.
Ooh.
And boom.
Bathroom?
Elevator. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cute. Oh, she just has to be finished.
Yes.
Okay, cute.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna go up to the 4th floor.
Okay. Shamia made sure that we were comfortable.
You have as much time as you need. Take your time.
Well, Cha-Cha's definitely making herself
There you
at home.
go. I mean, as she should.
This was only a temporary solution to my fix. However, it's been a great space. It's time for us to move on. There we go.
Gotta put some muscle in this thing. Good gracious.
Listen.
So this is the 4th level.
Oh, this is cute.
Look at the patio.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna go down to now the 2nd level. So here you go, your family room and your kitchen.
Okay. Financially, do you think it's something that I can do? Because you know I have financial fears right now, dealing with, a kid in college.
Yeah.
And I haven't really gotten any support from my ex.
Well, to be honest, if you wanna hear I'm gonna keep it 1,000.
Keep it 1,000 with me, sis.
Financially, you're gonna have to suffer for a little while, Pooh. You can't live the way you used to live in.
I'm in a space where I have to put myself in a position to win. Not only myself, but my girls. I want to provide a similar lifestyle to what they have experienced. Oh, you're my first nose. Oh, this is so cute. However, I'm gonna be real honest. It's hard to downsize, but I definitely do see it as a reset. So, is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. Is it necessary? Absolutely. And I think that as women, as mothers, as single moms, that you have to make some sacrifices.
The goal is next year for you to purchase.
We talked about that, yes.
Yes.
And I really want to purchase my dream home.
So with that being said, you need to find something under the budget.
Okay.
So that you can put back, because you gotta save. But, I mean, these are the sacrifices that we have to make in order to be better.
Can I at least have a prayer closet and pantry?
We can find you a prayer closet and a pantry.
Guess I'll just have to get my steps in on the stairs.
Yes. We should ask to sit up good.
On The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the show is usually known for its high-energy drama, luxury lifestyles, designer fashion, and massive homes that represent success and status. Most of the time, viewers are drawn into arguments, friendships falling apart, shade being thrown, and over-the-top moments that define reality TV entertainment. But every now and then, a storyline comes along that shifts the tone completely and brings things back to something much more real and grounded. Kelli's house hunting journey was one of those moments. Instead of focusing on conflict or trying to impress anyone, this storyline highlighted something very different: real life decision making. It showed Kelli in a space where she wasn't performing for cameras or engaging in drama, but instead dealing with practical choices about her future. And that alone made the moment stand out because it felt more authentic compared to the usual chaos viewers are used to seeing. A big part of her house hunting experience centered around one important factor: budget. As she toured different homes, the conversation naturally shifted toward what she could realistically afford versus what she emotionally desired. Some of the houses she viewed were beautiful, spacious, and very aligned with the luxury image people associate with RHOA. But the price point started to raise real concerns about whether those options made sense for her current lifestyle. Now, having a budget is often misunderstood. A lot of people see it as a limitation, but in reality, it's actually one of the clearest signs of financial awareness and maturity. It shows that someone is thinking long-term instead of making emotional or impulsive decisions. And in Kelli's case, that budgeting conversation became the heart of the storyline. It wasn't just about numbers. It was about stability, planning, and making sure she wasn't stepping into something that could create pressure later on. What made this situation relatable is that it reflects something many people experience in real life. There is often a gap between the lifestyle someone is used to or wants and the lifestyle that is actually sustainable at a given moment. That gap can create pressure, confusion, and even internal conflict. But it doesn't mean failure. It simply means adjustment. And adjustment is a natural part of life that everyone goes through at different stages. In a show like The Real Housewives of Atlanta, where viewers are constantly shown luxury as the standard, it was refreshing to see someone openly discuss financial boundaries. Instead of pretending everything was perfectly aligned, Kelli allowed viewers to see the decision-making process behind the scenes. That transparency made her more relatable because it reminded people that even individuals living in glamorous environments still have to think carefully about money, priorities, and long-term planning. Another important layer to this storyline is how it connects to life responsibilities. As someone who has family considerations, the decisions she makes are not just about personal comfort. They are also about creating stability and security for her children. That changes the entire perspective. Suddenly, it's not about choosing the biggest or most impressive home. It becomes about choosing the one that actually supports daily life, emotional peace, and financial balance. That is where the deeper message of this storyline really comes through. A beautiful house can look perfect on the outside, but if it creates financial strain or constant pressure, it loses its value in terms of quality of life. Peace of mind becomes more important than appearances. And that's a difficult realization for anyone who is used to a certain level of comfort or luxury, because it forces a shift in mindset from wanting to maintaining. At the same time, Kelli's personality also plays a role in how this moment is perceived. She has often been seen as confident, fashionable, and drawn to nice things. That makes this storyline even more interesting because it shows a different layer of her character. It reveals vulnerability, thoughtfulness, and a willingness to confront reality instead of avoiding it. That kind of openness is not always easy, especially in a public-facing environment where image matters so much. The realtor's role in the process also added another dimension. By showing her different options, they unintentionally highlighted the difference between emotional desire and practical reality. It's easy to imagine a perfect home in your mind, but when you start comparing that vision to actual numbers, responsibilities, and long-term commitments, your perspective often changes. That moment of realization is something many viewers could relate to because it reflects how real estate decisions actually work in everyday life. There is also something important about timing and life stages. People often go through periods where they feel like they are moving forward, and other times where they need to pause, reassess, or even step back before moving ahead again. Kelli's house hunting journey quietly reflected that kind of transitional phase. It wasn't about reaching the final destination. It was about evaluating direction and making sure the next step was the right one. In that sense, this storyline could actually be seen as a growth moment rather than just a simple house search. It represents awareness, responsibility, and the willingness to make decisions based on reality rather than pressure or expectation. And those are qualities that often lead to stronger long-term outcomes, even if the short-term choices feel difficult or less glamorous. What also makes this moment stand out is how it contrasts with the usual tone of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Instead of drama, shade, or conflict, it brought forward a quieter but more meaningful type of a storytelling, one focused on life planning and personal reflection. And sometimes those are the moments that resonate the most with viewers because they reflect real experiences outside of television. At the end of the day, Kelli's house hunting journey wasn't just about finding a new place to live. It was about understanding priorities, accepting change, and recognizing that success isn't only measured by luxury or appearances. True success often comes down to stability, peace, and making decisions that support your life rather than complicate it. And that is the biggest takeaway from this entire storyline. Sometimes the most important move is not the most impressive one. It's the one that actually makes sense for your future, your responsibilities, and your peace of mind.